Shalom. Welcome to this week's top news events affecting Israel and especially Israel advocates. This week we're going to have a heavy concentration on Iran. I know we always start off with Iran and especially the dangers that Iran presents in its nuclear aspirations. But this week some incredible news has occurred, and that is it seems to be among all political analysts and defense analysts that we are really at the brink of a possible war with Iran. The discourse that's been happening between America and Iran has gotten to threatening levels. America sending an official letter to Iran asking that Iran not close the Strait of Hormuz and threatening great consequences if they do, and that America will not tolerate the Strait of Hormuz being closed down. That seems to be the start of it. Iran having no qualms about continuing to threaten America and the rest of the world by closing the Strait of Hormuz. Again, the Strait of Hormuz is a body of water 4 miles at its greatest length, where 1/6 of the world's oil production travels through. The closing the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has threatened to do if America or Israel attacks, or even if tough enough sanctions are put into force, they threaten to close the Strait of Hormuz, which would significantly raise the price of oil in the world, possibly economically damaging the world to a point of almost no return, and definitely a point where the world cannot currently tolerate. In that case, if Iran does do that, America and the British, who have both been moving large fleets into the area of water near there, have both said that they will do what it takes to open up the Strait of Hormuz. That would mean almost immediate war. Again, the amount of boats and destroyers and aircraft carriers that have been moved into the region are at a dangerously high level. We don't take ship movement lightly, and this is a serious idea. Please check out the cheat sheet where there's a video that APEC has sent out of Leon Panetta, the defense secretary, talking about the red line that America has. And that red line that Iran cannot cross is the close acquisition of a nuclear weapon. Once Iran gets to that level, that's a red line that America has said they will not allow Iran to cross, and that means will not allow doesn't mean sanctions. Sanctions, the Obama administration started off by trying to diplomatically convince Iran not to aspire to a nuclear weapon. Iran rebuffed their advances, and then America is currently trying through sanctions, but both Leon Panetta and Dennis Ross, the former advisor to President Obama, have both said that President Obama is more than willing to use force if necessary. Keep in mind it is an election year, so any sign of weakness by President Obama could affect his re-election chances, which has to be taken into account. Okay, going on. America, though, does not want Israel, before all options have been used in terms of sanctions, to attack Iran. They do not want that to happen. And therefore, the head of the United States military is traveling to Israel this week to talk this out. Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Obama have been talking even more regularly than they usually do, all in an effort to convince Israel not to take that first strike. Again, if Israel does take that first strike, then you can be assured that Iran will go ahead and attack American military installations in the region, close to Iran. So America very much wants to see if sanctions will pan out. Now, the problem with the sanctions that we just passed is that they don't take effect for another half a year. That puts Iran a half a year faster onto the clock. It's also a question of just how serious those sanctions will turn out to be, because President Obama has the power to allow certain companies to do business with Iran. So the chances of these sanctions having their effect in a quick manner don't seem that high. Going on, a big story last week was the car accident in Tehran, where a nuclear scientist, one of Iran's top nuclear scientists, was blown up in his car in the middle of traffic with 100 witnesses, where 2 men on motorcycles placed bombs on either side of the car, magnetic bombs, blew it up, killing him and one other person, injuring those in the car besides the nuclear scientist. This is a common occurrence. It's the 4th nuclear scientist to have been killed. That tends to happen when you're building an illicit nuclear program. No one is taking credit for it. America has explicitly denied taking part in it and has condemned the act and said that they are not in favor of acts of violence. Whether that's just a show or not, Tehran seems to say that they have evidence of America's implicit involvement in this action. Going on, Tehran has threatened to hit Israel and America back for killing their scientists. We'll see what happens. the head of the United Nations, again, making a serious mistake this week in criticizing Israel for its settlement activity and saying that's what's holding up the peace process. I would love the day where the settlements were stopped and then we could show the world that Palestinians are not actually interested in peace. I would love to say that I'd love to see that day in the future, although it already happened. Bibi Netanyahu already stopped settlement building for 10 months back in 2010, and the Palestinians never came to the table until the very end and then walked away. It's all a bunch of games on the Palestinian side, and it's a shame that the United Nations chief, the Secretary General, cannot see past it and cannot go forward on that. That's it for this week's news update. Please make sure to sign up for the Shabbaton here in South Florida. All are welcome, whether you live here in South Florida. It's a joint effort between NCSY, Hillel Community Day School, Hebrew Academy, YHS, and of course Boca Raton Synagogue. And we hope that you'll join us. Please contact me for more information. All the best.